main cause of death among 12 to 18-year-olds. In addition, anxiety is the most common mental illness in the U.S. Also, according to the Anxiety and Depression Association of America, or the ADAA, anxiety disorders affect 1 in 8 children. According to a survey done by the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, kids are getting specialty mental health services because they felt depressed over any other reason. 58.4% of these children felt depressed, 31.3% had thoughts about suicide or attempted suicide, and following that, in 28.6%, was the feeling of being afraid, intense, or having anxiety. Researching these statistics made me feel like I would have been shocked by the statistics, but reading these numbers made me feel more on the sad side. From the beginning, I've always been a strong advocate of supporting arts, both visual and performing. There is a need for supporting the arts in public schools. There is not enough focus on the arts in public schools, and even worse, sometimes people try to defund those programs in schools, especially middle school and high schools. Adolescents, especially 12 to 18-year-olds, also need to have emotional outlets. Some schools might offer sports, but providing sports only caters to a certain audience. I know for myself, I was never deeply involved in sports because I didn't really like sports, and the only other thing I had for that was to go to a required PE class. I participated in martial arts outside of school, but other than that, I was never really part of anything that was part of school. Some schools still fund sports programs, but they don't realize that visual arts and performing arts can also have the same beneficial effects, just like sports. Just like making physical activity a requirement through a PE class or something like that, you can also make art a requirement in a class that offers both visual and performing arts, including some sort of 2D art or expressive arts like dancing or theater. The humanities teachers would try to integrate art into the different projects, and that was definitely something I looked forward to when I went to my classes. I felt like it was really the only time I could express myself in a way that I could, because I wasn't one to put myself into big social situations, and in this way I could express it quietly by myself. Both from personal experience and research, art actually benefits mental health. Michaela Fleur shares her story on her website. She suffered from panic attacks, but art has helped her anxiety levels. Her anxiety was so bad, she got anxiety attacks all the time, and she even got anxious about creating a new piece of art. But eventually she began painting, and she found the inner creative that was hidden within her. Ever since then, she hasn't gotten another panic attack. She attributes this to the fact that creating gets us out of our everyday reality, and because of this, art is an emotional outlet. It allows you to separate yourself from your anxiety or whatever problems you may have and escape into a different world. It lets you become a person who was originally held back because of something that's hindering you, such as anxiety. And so because of art, she was able to let that weight go and be free. This even applies to a hospital setting. Blair Sadler, who is the CEO of Children's Hospital in San Diego, says, "The lesson for healthcare institutions is clear: to either provide an environment that is welcoming to patients, improves their quality of life, and supports family and employees, or suffer the economic consequences in a competitive environment." The environment provides patients a big role on how patients feel. There are studies from Roger S. Ulrich showing that visual arts is beneficial to patients. For example, cancer patients reported back to him that they had reduced anxiety and stress levels when they had a virtual reality underwater in art museum scenes. So, art reduces stress within stressful health situations, but does it help an environment when people are not 100% mentally sane? Colin Rhodes wrote about a study that tested the effectiveness of art therapy, which originated in a closed-off environment or an asylum. Because the individuals in the asylum were isolated from the outside world, the people running the study wanted to see if art could help the individuals with their sense of self-worth. The individuals were able to use their imagination instead of having their inside thoughts consume their entire sanity. Since these individuals are so isolated from the world, these programs promote inclusive citizenship or a sense of belonging. This can be done through art activities, and people can gather as a group. It forms a sense of community, and they can reflect about their feelings together. These are, of course, extreme exaggerations of the conditions that 12 to 18-year-olds face in their daily lives, but it proves that even in extreme situations like these, art still does play a huge role in the healing process from hard situations that might have people ending up in an asylum. And most Americans believe so too. According to Beth Baker, in an article about arts education, 90% of Americans said that they consider music a part of a well-rounded education, and 79% said music education should be mandatory. Even if this is the case, a lot of people still struggle to support this decision because they feel as if other things should be prioritized over the arts in terms of funding. As a group of individuals, we have the power to influence and change the future, especially for the younger generations. If we don't take action now and support the arts, the younger generations will suffer the consequences of losing art programs, which is something that I was very familiar with. And I definitely had to deal with the adults having to fight back and forth between various measures for financial supports on visual arts, theater, and music programs. If schools do not have art programs, then future students won't have an emotional outlet other than sports, which can only cater to a certain population. This would lead to poor mental health rates increasing, as well as depression and anxiety rates increasing, and even the possibility of suicide rates increasing. The ADAA research shows that untreated children with anxiety disorders are at a higher risk to perform poorly in school and miss out on social experiences, and also they're more likely to get into drug abuse. However, anxiety disorders are highly treatable, except only 1/3 of those suffering receive treatment. So if we make sure that schools have anxiety easing programs, then those who might not be able to afford the treatment are going to have access to it anyways because it will be built into the school. So, what can you do to help the situation moving into the future? Looking into the future and thinking about providing art classes for the youth means that there is a need for both financial support and support from parents and the surrounding community to promote education in the arts. Because we can all vote now, you should vote for measures that support the arts, support local art programs in public schools, talk to the administration, or you can even volunteer to teach a temporary art class a couple times a year, or even organize art-related events in schools. As Beverly Snyder states in her article about art therapy, you can even organize something as simple as figure painting, or something more hands-on like mask making. If you have a younger sibling or you know someone of that youth age, you can support and empower them by following some tips given by the Association for Supervision and Curriculum Development. They listed a whole bunch of things, but the number one thing that really stuck with me the most was the fact that you can support them in the fact that they want to continue their endeavors in the expressive arts, which would definitely benefit someone who's struggling with internal issues. Growing strong in the arts not only improves academic performances, but also gives great opportunities for collaborative learning with peers, which is a great skill to have moving forward in life. If presented with the opportunity to integrate arts into everyday life and school subjects, I highly encourage it because so much from the outside world can be used in a way that will help